What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got some exciting stuff going on in the Punisher shop. Punisher car is getting ready to go autocross racing. That's right. It's not just a drag car. It's not just a street car. Now it's going to be a track car. So, with that, I want to show you guys my sponsor, QA1. Makes some amazing products. I spoke with them on the phone about what I wanted, and they asked me everything about my car, what I needed, and this is, they sent me out what was best for my setup. So we got these front QA1 single adjustable shocks, and I believe these are the rears. These are also a single adjustable shock. These are the QA1. These are going to be a huge upgrade on the Punisher car. I think I'm running like O'Reilly specials on the rear and the front. The car handles really good for what it is, actually. It doesn't have the slop like an old muscle car does. It's got quick ratio steering. Tubular rear control arms, adjustable upper rear control arms. I'm still running the factory A-arms in the front for now. I will eventually do tubular, but the shock set me back quite a bit. So yeah, let's get started and see if we can get these things put on. All right, another issue we have to address while we're doing this, and I have all the stuff to do it. This is supposed to be a posi. The other wheel's touching the ground. So it's pretty much an open diff right now. Here's what happened. It's got a factory Positrack unit in it. I rebuilt it with quick performance stuff, but what I didn't know was that you should not use the Valvoline synthetic Positrack oil in the rear end. So it pretty much toasted the posi. It's got too much lubricant, not enough friction modifier. So lesson learned. So now I get to pull the third member out and address that too. So do that while we're at it. I'm gonna try to take the car on the power tour in like a week and a half, so I got a lot to do. All right, you guys are gonna see me use this a lot. A lot of people throw these things away. This is actually a really handy tool to keep around. These little scissor jacks from the factory, as long as you don't get crazy with them, I've used them to pull stuff apart. I've used them as a press, but I welded a 1/2-inch socket to mine so I could just use my ratchet with it. And I also have my socket and everything, so I can carry in a small bag my jack and stuff. But this is what I use for stuff like this. It's just handy, and I don't have to drag my floor jack around. My floor jack is like one of the most annoying pieces in the shop. Normally I don't trash on Harbor Freight tools, but it's a Harbor Freight jack and it's the biggest POS I've ever had. I'm just gonna put these back up here real quick, otherwise I'm gonna kick them across the shop and I'm gonna lose them. So on these cars, your lower shock, and I have a, this will look a little different to you guys because I fabbed up some shock relocation brackets. So on a deal like this, the shocks, the rear end's under all the weight because it's just hanging. So I like to just put pressure on it until the shock bolt spins pretty easy. I just use the bolt to thread it out some, then I'll actually just stick my wrench behind it. pop it out of there. Just pop that shock out of there. See that shock relocation bracket I made? You can buy them, but I'm a fab guy, so we don't do that. So there's the upper control, or the upper shock mount. It's just got 2 bolts in it, and we just got to pull those out real quick. All right, so that upper shock mount bolt is 9/16 on my car. It may be something else on yours, who knows. You know, these shock bolts get lost over the years and people don't put the right stuff back. So. There we go. I was wrong. These are KYB shocks, and they're still good shocks. They're extremely stiff still. I just, you know, they're not what I need anymore. Alright, as you guys can see, this difference between this old shock and this new shock is night and day. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. This is going to be a huge upgrade for the Punisher car. I mean, I want to thank QA1 again for the sponsorship. I reached out to them, and they was nice enough to give me a sponsorship on my car. Apparently people like the little Punisher car enough to where they thought it would be worth it to have me as a alright, so now we got that pressed in there. Put our bolt back through the shock. Alright, we ran into a slight problem here, so yeah. Alright, so here's what I had to do. I had to radius the side of my bracket, but it should all fit now. It's getting there. There just wasn't enough clearance. The shock was hitting that bracket, so I may clearance it just a little bit more, but we got the uppers installed, so we're getting there. Alright. So, little rundown. These QA1 Stalker Star shocks, they're a direct fit. I have a 9-inch, and I don't know, it does have adjustable lower control arm points, and it may just be my rear end angle. But I do have these shock extender brackets. Now, your shocks may have these. This screws into here, and then the shock slides over here. That would not work in my application because it put the shock at a weird angle and it would not work properly. So with the shock extender and the way I grounded it, it works fine. So it just took me a minute to figure out how I was going to do it. Now this side, as you can see, I have a clamped off brake line because my brakes went to the floor and I was on the road, and well, I've bought a set of those at O'Reilly, clamped off that brake line. So along with doing the posi unit and the shocks, we're going to do brake lines too. So just one more thing that needs to be done. All right, here we go. We're going to change this side now. Now that I know what I'm doing on the other side. Oh, and I ordered brake hoses. Unfortunately, I had to get them from Rock Auto because nobody in town has them. And these brakes are off of a 2006 Mercury Grand Marquis, so you would think that that would be something that would be pretty common, but apparently not. So yeah, that sucks, but it is what it is. That's tight. I guess it's time to break out the big dog. My IR titanium impact. I've had this thing for, shoot, 20 years. Maybe not quite. This thing won't take it loose. Nothing will. Come out of there, you bastard. Alright, Excel G shock absorber. Alright, now take those bolts out. Now you do have to drill out these upper holes just a hair. And each of these shocks comes with, bam, QA1 sticker. Now, if you're anything like me, you know, a bunch of money for shocks is alright if you got a sticker with it. Alright, so here's a little trick also I learned on these. This is really, really tight to get in here. So I take my clamp I got here, bam, right in there. Just make things easier for you if you're doing this sometime. All right, got to clearance this bracket. I know I should have safety glasses on, but I can't find them, so we'll just do the squint method. I bet QA1 never expected their shocks to go on such a fine automobile as the Punisher car. What the hell? That was a little tighter than the other one. Well, I guess we'll just spread her out a little bit. we've got to fish these bolts through this top piece. Which, if I'd ever put my new body bushings in, I'd have more room to do this. But they still, body's still on it, so yeah, they're good. I have the new bushings. But I plan on trying to do a frame stiffening and stuff over the winter, so I really don't want to spend too much time doing stuff I'm going to change anyway, so. Oh, that just happened. I needed that out of my way anyway. All right, there you go. We just got to tighten them up and we're good to go. That is pretty much the install of a QA1 adjustable rear shock on the back of a GMA body.